This is my 1841 late model Brunswick that I got at IMA last year. I'm finally getting around to taking it apart, seeing what it looks like underneath. The lock has already been cleaned. When I bought it, the hammer had gotten hit by something that was bent over. It didn't line up with a nipple. And the gunsmith at IMA was kind enough to take the hammer off. He cleaned everything up and heated it up and bent it back so that it lines up correctly now. That's probably how that crack was formed right here. So that's one thing I got to fix. The only other thing really that I need to fix is some rust around the tang, and there's two of these barrel wedge brass pieces that are missing, but I have some more of those from another half-stock parts gun that I got from IMA last year. Yeah, this one was interesting because out of all of them on that pallet, there was only two that still had the original patch box cover. Alright, let's see if I can start getting this thing apart. Hopefully none of the screws will give me too much of a hassle. Sometimes they definitely can. First thing I'll take off is the Sling swivel screw and get the Sling swivel out of there. Oh yeah, it's turning. Ah, shit. This screw had almost no slot on the top of it, so I did have to deepen it with my Dremel tool with a narrow cutoff wheel. That's no big deal. That's common on these guns. Alright, there's the Sling swivel off. Next, let me get the lock out. I'll try doing everything down here where I'm not an expert video taker. Alright, there's the lock off. And as I said before, they dropped it in their sonic cleaner. Cleaned it all up. It's in really good condition in there and hardly any rust. Alright, next we'll be getting the tang screw out. It's full of crud. So what I'm going to use is this little screwdriver here to clean all that crud out that's down in the slot. This screw is usually the one that gives people the most hassle of not wanting to start turning. Well, I could have done this already before I started the video, but a lot of people don't know that you really got to clean this out before they start trying to crank around on it with the screwdriver. Alright, now that one looks like it fits the best. You always want to try to find the screwdriver bit that matches the screw slot as close as possible. Oh, good grief. That wasn't even tight. I love it. Wow. All right. That definitely needs cleaning. All right, next is the 3 barrel wedges. Alright, to take out the wedges, I found that the best thing to use is just a little chunk of copper. And then I'll get one of the screwdriver bits, set it on there, and just barely tap carefully. I can't get it all the way out with this because of this taper, but at least I can knock it out most of the way. Oops. Luckily, I've never had any of these that were rusted in place and wouldn't move. They've all came out pretty easily. Well, that was missing one. Oops, let me move my camera. That was missing a nail. And so the copper piece came out with it, but that's... yeah, it's stuck up there, but that's no problem. I can easily fix that. And then usually you can, well, since this has this here, nah, it's not going to move. There's a little slot in these barrel wedges that if you can get a screwdriver in there, you can just lift up on it, and usually they'll just come right the rest of the way up. They shouldn't come all the way out though, because they're pinned. That's what the slot's for, is because it's got a, there it goes. Yeah, there's that little tiny, oh, I won't focus that close. Oh, because I'm zoomed in. There's that little tiny nail that held that on. This last one is not going to want to move. So, let's see. Yeah, that one came up too. Because it's, I guess it's kind of welded itself onto the wedge over time. So now I need to find something to tap that the rest of the way through. Oh. This will work. I'll just use another wedge that came off of that parts gun. I can flip this over. Just put that wedge in the hole. That's a good idea. I wish I'd have thought of that on some of the other ones. Alright, now let me zoom back out. The barrel is ready to come out of the stock. This you want to do kind of carefully because it's been in there for 150 years or more, and it could be stuck. And you don't want to just go pulling on it and break the stock. Oop, okay, it just popped loose down here. Alright, and here's where I'll see whether or not there's any bad pitting on the bottom side of the barrel. Well, there is some rust, but I really don't think it's going to be anything. I think that's just surface rust. I don't think there'll be any pitting at all down here. Yeah, I can clean that up with one of the Frontier 45 scrubbing pads. That should be good. And that's really all that needs to be taken off. Well, I'll take the ramrod out, clean it up. There's no need to take these off. They're pinned in. I never polish the brass on these anyway. I just clean it, leave the patina on it. So these I just leave in place. Oh yeah, the tang. I can smooth that out a little bit with a file. darken it back down, and I don't think I need to do much here. So just clean that up. Well, and there's one little crack right here that I'm going to have to take care of. But that's really it. No need to take the butt plate off unless, you know, there was some problem with it, so I don't even take that off. I never take the trigger guard off if I don't have to. Although this one I think I may have to, because the trigger doesn't want to move hardly at all. So I probably have to take it and clean it up. Anyway, that's pretty much taken apart a Brunswick. Okay, did the initial cleaning on the barrel. That is one pretty barrel. Got some nice patina all the way down. Still have a little more to clean around the side. And then on the back side, the little rusty areas, I got some gun oil soaking in there. Free up any of that. I think the worst of the pitting is going to be that right there, and I don't even think this really, it doesn't feel recessed, it's raised up. So whenever I get that rust out of there, it may be a little bit of pitting, but that's, I mean, it looks a lot worse than it is. I mean, I'm feeling it, and it's not really too rough. So I think as long as the bore cleans up nice, I'll have no worries about shooting this thing.